Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today we're going to be checking out another song from a band I cannot pronounce. Andrea Lucerna suggests that I react to Carne by IOSONOUNCANE. IOSONOUNCANE? Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I actually had a bit of trouble finding them. And so today we're actually going to be checking out their Bandcamp page. I was told it's a Italian song, and you can see by the lyrics on the bottom left corner, it's not in English. So I'm not going to be doing any sort of lyrical analysis today. Not that I really typically do that, anyways. But let's get into this. Let's see what IOSONOUNCANE can do. Nice little three pulls going on here. I love the vocal harmonies. It's very chill, almost has like a trance-like quality to it. Really helped by the synthesizer and pipe organ. I think it's a pipe organ. It has a pipe organ-y sound. I really like the texture that the oohs are giving it. There's good harmony there, and it's kind of filling up the space. Without them, the song's a bit anemic, so it's a good choice to add something wide like that. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know if that's a tuba or a trombone. I think it's a bit low to be a trombone. Definitely a trumpet there on the higher end. The section just before this was in 4. Now we're back into 3. Interesting choice, because we didn't stay in 4 very long at all. I love that ride rhythm. Just throwing those tins, just throwing them in there. Almost random to me. I'm sure there's a pattern to it. I'm not picking it up though. Alright. Got a different singer this. Well, I guess it's just more of the harmony vocalizing. That slightly closed hi-hat sounds. Real nice rhythms on that. Meshing well with the guitar going on, and then the swells are adding to it all. The presence. Huge build up here for the outro. Alright, I wonder if that goes into the next song or if it's just supposed to be, abruptly ending like that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was, definitely interesting. I don't know if that's a band or maybe a single person using a lot of, digital effects and samples. I could definitely see it going either way. I'd like to see it all live. I just have a preference for live music. I'm pretty sure you guys have picked up on that by now. But some really interesting things going in there, and some, to me, odd instrumental combinations. Also, you don't really see tubas that much outside of symphonies and orchestras and stuff like that. It's not really something that's really made its way into modern music, even with stuff where you see jazz moving into it, with like you got your more like salsa based rock or even ska, um, even some pop music nowadays. You hear a lot of trumpet, a lot of the high end of the brass section, but you very rarely hear tubas. And like I said, I don't know if that's a tuba or a trombone. I think the lower notes are outside of a trombone's range, but it didn't sound wide enough to me to be a tuba. So it was kind of in a weird section. It could have been how it was mixed too, or how it was recorded, or it could be a sample. And with samples, you can make a tuba. I mean, you can make a trumpet. Nope, a trombone. Play notes under their physical range. Um, so I mean, it could really be any number of things. I'm getting a little off topic here though. Yeah, you don't hear low brass like that very often. So it's really interesting. It hits me. It pulls my attention immediately to hear that outside of an orchestral setting. And so that's really cool. Then you have the trumpet, which trumpets just sound amazing anytime. No bias there. It's just fact. Uh, the organ, I feel, kind of gives the song kind of this timelessness. It doesn't feel like a modern song, even though I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, at least in the last year. Oh no, released March 2015. So yeah, definitely still Oh, look at this! Look at this! We got some things here. Um, we got a voice, a vocalist, a synth player, a percussion player, a tromba player. Now this is all in Italian, so I'm doing my best to translate here. Most of it is phonetically similar, but tromba I'm going to assume is trombone. No, is tuba, and then there is a trombone player, a baritone sax, and a drum sampler. So maybe not a real drummer, but it still has the rhythm and has his own instrument, even if it's not a kit. So, and then I don't know what shitara is, but then it says classica, electronica, um, electrica, organ, synth. Synth and sampling and voice. Oh, that's I guess that's the genres or the things that um band can be classified. I don't know. But we have a synthesizer, percussion, tuba, trombone, baritone, sax, and drum sampling. So that wasn't a trumpet. Unless a trumpet. I'm gonna see if I can search for this real quick. Um Tromba. Oh, it's a trumpet. Merriam-Webster defines it as a trumpet. So there is no tuba. There is a trombone hitting some low notes. So that's impressive. And then the trumpet, the percussion, the baritone sax, which I don't think I heard a saxophone specifically. I don't remember calling that one out. The drum sampling. See, the drums are something that really lent it to me to say that it was possibly one person doing everything digitally. The drums were definitely a little too clean to be real, but the rest of the instruments were really played, so that's impressive. But yeah, so the organ to me gives it more of a timeless feel. It doesn't feel like something that came out today. It has that old timey 70s sound. I don't know if that's the same for everyone. When I hear that type of organ with that type of vibrato, to me, I get a very 70s feel out of that. Maybe even 60s. It has, to me, it has like psychedelic connotations to it. Um, Although interestingly, it also gives me some Middle Eastern Indian vibes, some Asian vibes, just because of the prominence of that instrument over there through the last century and a half or so. Um, it was one of the more prominent Western instruments that actually got picked up and used a lot in Asian countries. Um, but yeah, for this song though, with this specific tone and with the music playing, it gives me more of a Western 60s, 70s pop and rock era kind of feel to it. So to me, it feels timeless. There's a lot of elements to it that feel modern, but for some reason, that organ just really pulls me and makes it feel like an older song to me personally. I mean, that's my own musical biases coming into my interpretation of the song. Um, Dang, I feel like I've gone way off track here though. Uh, but yeah, there's a lot of really neat ideas in here with the combinations of instruments. Um, and even though it has a semi full brass section, we have a low end instrument and a high end instrument. It doesn't really give way to feeling symphonic or jazzy. It has its own feel, and the instruments don't really pull in their baggage and associations with it. They're more to lend their specific sound than to lend what their sound is typically used in. Um, the song as a whole, I can't place it. It's its own thing. It's like the first time I listened to Igor. Um, Actually, anytime I listen to Igor, it's something I can't place. It is its own thing. It exists within its own genre and its own ideas. Now, maybe there's a lot of other music out there that uses the same ideas. Maybe this is part of a genre, and for all I know, it's extremely derivative of that genre. But I've never heard anything like this before. This is so left field to me. It has, I don't know, it has like pop ideas in it, but then it also has some really interesting Spanish ideas. And I don't know if that's necessarily because of the way that the brass instruments are being used, but especially the trumpet is used more as a background instrument to kind of give these high pitched stings and held notes and little flourishes rather than to hold out a melody. And to me, that reminds me a lot of Spanish music, Spain Spanish, not like Latin American Spanish. Um, I don't know. It pulls from like all these different ideas and eras and genres, and it's just this crazy smorgasbord of musical ideas into something that, to me, like I said, is entirely unique. So yeah, that's some really cool stuff there. Definitely have to check out more from this band, and they have quite a few, 3, 4 albums at least on Bandcamp. So I might spend an afternoon checking this out and seeing what else they got to offer. So thanks for that recommendation, Andrea. And yeah, what'd you guys think? I'm pretty sure not many people have heard of this. I could be totally wrong though, but it had one recommendation, and that's it. So what do you guys think? Is this something you would listen to? I know this isn't the typical metal and harder rock that we do on the channel, but I do like to explore all sorts of music. I think every music is worth every music. I think all music is worth listening to and kind of dissecting and seeing what you can pull from it. If you only listen to one genre, you're wanting to make music, I don't think you're going to make much worth listening to. The stuff that's really powerful, that latches on to people and really pulls them through and teaches them new things. It's the stuff that's genre bending. They take ideas from all sorts of stuff. They don't just hone it into an echo chamber and listen to the same thing over and over. Um, yeah, even though a lot of my recommendations are metal and rock, this is also the kind of stuff I want to do. This channel needs to react to everything. So, if you think your recommendation doesn't fit inside of what the channel does, then put it up anyways, cuz I don't want to be mean, but maybe you don't understand what the channel does, and maybe I'm not accurately portraying what the channel does. The channel does everything, and I know I kind of gravitate towards rock and metal, but I don't really know what I'm getting into, so it's hard for me to make sure that there's variety. So I need you guys to give me a lot of variety so that when I randomly pick stuff, it's varied. And I feel like varied and variety I've said too many times, and now they're starting to sound weird. So I will be back tomorrow with another episode with another band that I cannot pronounce. And that'll be at 11 a.m. as usual. And until then, you all have a fantastic day. And make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell because I forgot to say that earlier.